What makes a great video? Is it the gear? Is it the story? Is it maybe something else? If you are here, you're probably an aspiring content creator, an artist, or maybe a musician who wants to reach their audience, or maybe you just want to make good videos just for fun. Either way, this is the right place for you because today I'm going to walk you through step by step on my YouTube video making process, which I refined over the past couple of years and which also allows me to make a living as an artist / content creator. So this will be the first episode of a two-part series. So today I'm going to talk about how I make my talking head videos, these educational style videos, the ones you see right now. And in part 2, I'm going to talk about how I make aesthetic music videos. Okay, so we have 5 main pillars we need to discuss today: idea, planning, recording, editing, and publishing. I know some people set time aside for just, coming up with ideas, but I can't really structure this part. So this is what I do instead. So I have a content board in Notion, and if you're not familiar with Notion, it's a productivity and note-taking web application. And I structure everything here. All my life is in here. But you can use your notes app on your phone or a regular notebook. So this is the board, and if some ideas pop to my mind, I just open a card for it under this idea column. I save all kinds of titles and thumbnails here that I see on YouTube and that I think that it performs well, and I think it would work well for my audience as well. So I try to collect good ideas here for future videos. And if somebody else have done a similar video to your idea that have performed well, it's likely that the idea is good for a video. And before you get really angry at me, I'm not saying that your video with, 63 views is bad. Maybe it's a good idea with good execution, maybe it's a good video, but a video's success will be determined by how relevant it is for a wider group of people. That's really it. And as the project progresses, I put this little card, this idea card, into other columns depending on what phase it is in. So this creates a really good sense of structure and where the project is at any given moment. So I often choose to work with ideas that are broad enough to be relevant to a wider range of people, but is still within my niche. So among all classical guitarists, a huge amount of them are gonna be beginners because many people start without reaching an intermediate level at all, ever. So making videos for them has a better potential than making videos for really advanced players in terms of views, of course. So to sustain a healthy channel and still be able to pay rent, I try to balance making videos that potentially reach more people and the ones that are just, passion projects maybe. So if you want to make money out of your channel, you need to make some compromises and talk about topics that, people actually care about. But this doesn't mean that you have to make content about things you don't want to talk about, right? I always make videos I'm happy with. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this, right? My idea board is always filled with at least 20 usable ideas, which I think they are great. So when I sit down, I just have to pick one and start planning. It took me quite a long time to understand the importance of this step. So this is where I draw a roadmap or the composition of the video. And if you are really vague on this step, you're gonna suffer on the next ones. That's for sure. Trust me, I tried it. Not fun. So let's say we try to draw a face. And if you start drawing the face if you start drawing the features like the nose and the eyes, it's so easy to mess up the proportions. And sometimes you realize it when it's already too late to fix it. But if you start drawing a couple of guidelines and like circles or whatever, you already create a sense of structure, and you will know much better where to put certain features, right? When I have a good video idea, just like this one, showing you my recording process, I first try to come up with a couple of title and thumbnail ideas. This is very important, because if I can't make my idea somewhat clickable, no one's gonna watch the video no matter how cool it is, right? So I need a short and comprehensive title that summarizes the video well, using just a few keywords. But people usually check the thumbnail first, even before the title. So I try to come up with simple and straightforward thumbnails, showing just 2 or maybe 3 key elements, and I start doodling. So let me show you a couple of thumbnails I made. These thumbnails are doing quite well, so they spark curiosity, they are somewhat easy to read and make it obvious what we're gonna talk about, which is classical guitar. And the next couple of thumbnails I want to show you, these are not doing so well. So some of them are hard to read or cluttered or simply just, I don't know, too vague. Another little trick I also try to keep in mind is not to repeat the title in the thumbnail, not even parts. Never repeat the title on the thumbnail, guys. I will talk more about my music videos in the part 2 video I was talking about earlier, but for music videos, I also try to avoid repeating information, and I try to focus on sparking curiosity. Once I have 4 to 5 title ideas and a few thumbnail doodles that I like, I can start outlining the structure of the video, the main chapters, and the key informations I want to give. So I script everything, because then I will know how long the video is gonna be. I simply just put the script into ChatGPT and I ask how long of a YouTube video this script would make, and it always gives me a pretty good estimation that I can use. I work especially a lot on the intros, or maybe like the first 30 seconds of the video, and on the outro, because people need an immediate confirmation when they click on the video that it's gonna be a video for them, and it's gonna deliver the promise I made in the title and the thumbnail, right? The outro is also a really good opportunity to bring attention to another video you made, and to keep people watching more, and to keep people on your channel. So you will see at the end of this video how I do it. When I write a script, I also consider any relevant personal plugs and call to actions. For example, like please consider supporting my work on Patreon if you like this video, or if you like what I'm doing, check out my Patreon page, or consider buying a vinyl album in my shop or something like that. And I think it's okay to let people know that they can help you and they can support your mission, but I always look for a place for this after I already delivered some value to my viewers. Same with asking for a like and a subscription. And the final thing I need to plan is my visuals, and this is where I often get really lazy. So there's a video making rule you may have heard before, which goes show, don't tell. The words and the visuals have to deliver the message together. Now, my middle name could easily be over-explaining, because I find it really, really hard to stick to this rule. But on my best performing videos, I always made some doodles next to the script. to visualize what I'm gonna have to shoot. So this includes all the A rolls, which is like this one, me talking to you, the B rolls, which are supporting my points and gives like further depth to, you know, to the point I'm making, and even the transitions, if that's relevant in a video. I don't know, sometimes it's relevant, which also helps the story to go smoother and links, you know, the different takes more seamlessly, you know. This phase is quite long, I have to admit, but if I put enough thought and effort into this phase, all the next part will come together easier, smoother, and just more straightforward, because I already figured out how I want the video to look and what I want to say. So by now we are a good 4 to 8 hours in, and we have a great idea: 2 to 3 titles, 2 to 3 thumbnail sketches, a script, and a better or worse plan how to shoot at least the intro and the outro. Okay, so we are ready to record the video now. For most of my indoor recordings, this is all I use. I have this old tripod. I've been using it for 4 years. I don't know, it's just a random tripod. It's good, works. I also have the Sony ZV-E10, which is what I'm recording on right now. And I have a couple of extra batteries always. It's really nice to have some extra batteries. But when I record indoors, I try to use a dummy battery, which looks like this. And the good part of it is that you can plug it straight into the wall or into a power bank, and it won't exhaust a battery, right? Because it's a dummy battery. It's good. And it also helps with the temperature control a little bit. On the camera, I have a Sigma 16mm 1.4 lens, which makes a really huge difference in terms of quality. It allows me to shoot in low light, and it also gives me a really nice blurry backdrop. For the microphones, I have a couple of alternatives. So if I'm moving around a lot in the room, I use these DJI clip-on microphones. Whoops, this one. Why does it have googly eyes? Yeah, right. So either this one, or if I'm sitting in front of my desk, I'm using my Elgato Wave 3 microphone, which is my favorite. This is what I try to use as much as possible, because it just has such a good sound straight out of the box. I don't even edit this sound in post. I'm just so happy with the quality of it. I do nothing with the sound in post. It also sits on an Elgato microphone arm, which looks cool, and I think it looks pretty nice in the picture, so I don't mind having this in the frame. For lights, I use Elgato key lights if I'm sitting in front of my desk, like right now. But if I sit somewhere else in the room, I use a combination of Elgato key light Air and this Elgato key light Mini, which is great. So you have this app, and within that app you can control all your lights. You can turn them on and off. You can control the temperature, the color temperature, I mean, the brightness, and it's just really, really good because I don't have to stand up and, you know, and walk around and, you know, just stand up every single time I want to make a 2% adjustment or something. So that's really good. Elgato is really building an ecosystem, and I'm here for it. I also love small lights. So as you can see, I have this random IKEA lamp, I have a salt lamp, and an LED light strip, which gives the videos this warmer, I don't know, cozier look, which I like. Okay, after everything is set and the room is ready for, you know, recording, I just slide my teleprompter on the camera, and this is the prompter from Elgato, and I mainly use it to see my scripts while recording videos like this one. So this is a very new addition to my setup, and it saves me so much time. And I always know that, I'm not missing a key point, so the video ends up being as good as it can be. It comes with an app in which I can just, pop my script into it. I set the size and the speed, and it'll just roll up nicely on the display so I can read it. But they also launched a new feature that adjusts, the scrolling speed based on the sound of your voice, based on how fast you're speaking, which is something I haven't tried yet because I saw the news like 30 minutes ago, but I can't wait to try it. Prompter also has a Twitch chat integration, so when I go live on Twitch, I can display my chat on this little screen, and I can engage with my chat while I also can keep an eye contact with the viewers, which is a nice little extra. I think it's nice. And lastly, it also can be used as just a regular extra monitor too. You can drag and drop things on it. So for example, you can watch a football game while you're at a meeting and no one will notice it because you'll look straight into the camera, like you're paying attention to the meeting. So, okay, but seriously, it also has been really helpful for me with presentations and meeting kinds of stuff. It's compatible with many cameras and web cameras because it comes with multiple or like many different docking plates. You probably can guess it by now, but I'm a massive fan of Elgato and I've been using their products for the past 3 years for content creation, streaming, and for just general daily work too. And they are great at creating ecosystems, I believe similarly to Apple, which is something I mentioned earlier. So this is why I'm super happy that they are sponsoring this video. And if you'd like to grab any Elgato product 5% off, check out the link in the description and make sure to use my code. And thank you Elgato for sponsoring this video. For editing, I've been using DaVinci Resolve for the past 2 years, and I usually edit on my MacBook lately. However, this video wasn't edited by me, so say hello to Eduardo, guys. There's really not much to say about this part because, once again, if the plan was good, this phase should be just about ruthlessly trimming out the unnecessary or redundant parts. And I tend to edit the intro to have a little bit of a faster pace, zoom in and out. I use more clips and B-rolls and text on screen and even sound effects to set up a good vibe. And then over time, the video gets a little bit calmer and more like cozy. So editing a roughly 10-minute long video can take anywhere between 6 to 10 hours of work for me. Finalizing the thumbnail is also happening in this phase, so I make 2 to 3 different thumbnails and I use Canva or Photopea, and I'm using my doodles that I made earlier for reference. And it's important that the text have to be readable and the colors should be at least a little bit contrasting for, the best readability. Readability, is that a word? They should be readable. This last part is not very special or personal, so it's pretty straightforward, so I only want to point out maybe 1 or 2 key things I'm doing. So I have really long descriptions for my videos because when somebody is searching for, let's say, classical guitar exercises for beginners, YouTube will check relevant videos, monitoring not only the titles and the keywords, but the descriptions of the videos as well. So I always have a short and condensed title, but I have a longer explanation of the video in the description for SEO reasons. In my video descriptions, I also like to add chapter markers so people can, skip the parts that are not very relevant to them, but I don't give the topic away immediately. So as you can see here, instead of writing what the exact problem is, I just write problem number 1. This is where that discussion starts. And if you want to know what problem number 1 is, you have to hear it. You need to listen to that part. And I used to write stuff like problem number 1, your hand is not relaxed enough. People didn't need to watch the video or that part. They just read the points and they left. And I had like 12% retention rates on my videos just because I tried to be nice. I'm not nice anymore. You have to watch the stupid chapters. I also try to use as many relevant keywords as possible, and this is not Instagram. I just write the words as people would search for them in the search bar, so with spaces in between the words. This is also where I add end cards to every single videos to keep people watch longer and watch another video, because around the end of a video I say something like how this was my full process to record a talking video, but recording a music video is completely different in many aspects. And this is when I put a card here so you can watch another video of mine. So I say, if you want to learn how to record aesthetic music videos, check out part 2 here. And you click on the card and this video ends.